thanks for sticking around. Let me bring back to the stage director Park Sung-min. Director Park Sung-min, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the film. Let me start right away with the obvious. The origin of the film is a pretty strange, pretty different kind of film. Let me start with the original idea behind this film. Why Oh Tae-kyung? And then we can get into the rest, of course.
이게 원래 한 10년 전에 제가 단편 영화로 만들고 싶었던 배우, 무명 배우였는데 제가 이전에 곤지암이라는 영화를 받고 갔을 때 그 유튜브나 개인 방송에 대한 관심이 많아서 그 일의 얘기가 좀 접목해보면 재밌겠다 해서 생각을 하다가 이제 아역 배우의 이미지에 갇힌 한물간 배우를 찾기 시작하다가 올드보이가 떠올랐어요. 그래서 오태경이라는 배우를 찾아가서 제가 직접 만나서 섭외하게 된 것 같습니다.
So the idea started 10 years ago. I wanted to make it into a short film. And when I worked on my previous film, Konjian, I took interest in YouTube and all the individual broadcasts. So I think about who's gonna represent that image. So I come up with an old boy, and in the film there was a child actor. So I was interested in child actor who couldn't make a successful career after become an adult. That's why I found Woo Tae-kyung, who played little Tae's role in Old Boy.
Can you tell us about a little bit about working with him on this film, in the sense that he's in every frame of the movie, and you have to produce all these little segments. In a way, it's like a film made out of many films. So can you tell us how you work with him to build this character who's both himself and a fictional character, it seems? While the translator translates, we have two card runners on the sides. If you want to ask a question, please raise your hand and they give you a little card to write your question on, and something to write it on. Sorry, I'm very tired. To write it with, and then we collect the cards after that. Thank you.
사실은 이 이야기 속의 우태경은 어느 정도는 우태경의 진실이 맞지만 대부분이 제가 만들어낸 이제 허구의 일이거든요. 우태경은 사실 우태경의 자기 커리어 외에는 현실에서 나오는 것들이 아니라 자기를 연기한 거죠.
So Oh Tae-kyung in this film is not actual him. I create a fake identity, a fake character of Tae-kyung, so he acted on his own character.
And so a pivotal point is that encounter with the man with the sign, right? So can you tell us a little bit about that idea? At some point, it sort of almost veers into a different story. Can you tell us a little more about that particular aspect of it?
어떻게 보면은 배우도 그렇고 유튜버도 그렇고 이슈를 쫓아가는 사람들이라고 생각을 해서 이슈를 만들어야겠다. 사회적으로 좀 어떤 것들이 이슈가 되고 있는지를 조사하다가 이제 사건이 될 만한 것들을 접목을 시켜서 조금 중간에 무겁기도 하고 그리고 다른 측면의 이미지를 좀 많이 주고 싶었어요. 그래서 아마 그런 사건들이 좀 이용된 것 같습니다.
So the picket man, actors and YouTubers, they all look for fame and celebrity. They want to be at the center of highlights. So because fame follows issues. So I thought that those YouTubers and actors maybe need to create an issue. So I looked up different issues the Korean people pay attention to these days. So it can be a little bit of dark social issue. That's why I pick up this story.
So what is it exactly about celebrity culture that you found fascinating enough to turn this into this fiction?
아시다시피 이제 예전에 단편 영화로 무명 배우들의 얘기를 만들고 싶었는데 제 주변에도 굉장히 많고 열심히 하지만 빛을 보지 못한 배우들이 굉장히 많아서 성공하는 배우들은 1% 정도다. 근데 그게 어떠한 기준일까? 연기를 잘해서일까? 이런 생각들이 빠지다 보니까 이런 생각들을 하게 된 것 같아요. 운이라고도 생각이 들 수 있고 그 운을 만들 수도 있다는 생각 때문에 시작된 것 같습니다.
So, he mentioned before, but I missed to translate. The short film, it started the idea 10 years ago. You want to make a film about actors and actresses that make a successful career. So, there are so many people around him, many actors and actresses who make a famous career. So, what made those successful people who made it into like a celebrity like status, like 1% of all the actors and actresses? So maybe their acting skill, or it's just a random luck. So maybe random luck can be created like this. That's why he started the story.
So for those of you who have had experience with YouTube, every one of these segments actually take a lot of work. We try to have our own social media efforts. And so what really fascinated me about the film is the process of blending all these segments together, because every one of these little bits that form the film, I mean, ultimately it's a mini story. So I found that aspect particularly interesting. So I'd like to hear more about what came into play into making every little one of these.
이 이야기가 사실 일반적인 드라마 타이즈의 극명으로 만들어지면 좀 이펙트도 없고 재미도 없다고 생각이 들었어요. 그래서 좀 독특한 방식이 있을까라는 생각에 이제 실제 유튜브 화면으로 이루어진 영화를 한번 만들어 보고 싶다. 그게 어떻게 보면 전 영화 권지현 때 했던 방식이랑은 조금 변형되게 더 업그레이드하는 방식으로 해보고 싶다라는 생각이 들었거든요. 근데 상당히 어려웠고 상당히 힘들었는데 그래서 편집도 굉장히 오랜 시간이 걸렸는데 좀 저한테는 의미 있는 작업이지만 이게 잘 표현됐는지는 아직도 잘 모르겠어요.
So if I took the traditional type of like dramatization of film, I don't think I can carry a message. I think it's not maybe not going to be fun or not effective. So I have to find something not usual, so unique format. So I try to interline all the YouTube channels. I got the idea from my previous job with Konjian, but it's an upgraded version. It's very challenging work and it's very difficult. That's why it took a lot of time for me for editing. It's a meaningful job for me, meaningful process, but I wonder that my intention was actually delivered well with the audience.
Okay, I'm going to start collecting the cards. So I want to ask you about, so one of the central theme is obviously having to deal with failure. Like it's about this actor who's trying to find a new second career, right? And it's also about this man who cannot become an actor. So I want to ask you a little bit about this theme of failure. Exactly, yeah, I think that's my question basically. Right, it's the film at some level about how to become an actor. In a sense, at the end, the Oh Tae-kyung becomes a real actor, right? And the other guy too.
실패와 성공을 떠나서 이제 연기를 하고 싶어도 할 수 없는 무대가 없거나 아니면 기회가 주어지지 않는 배우들에게 어떤 기회가 있을까라는 질문에서 오태경은 지금 유튜브 안에서 유튜버로 연기를 하고 있다고 생각을 하고 그리고 피켓남은 피켓남의 배역으로 연기를 하고 있다고 생각을 했어요. 그거 자체가 그들에게는 배우 인생을 영위하고 있다고 표현을 한 것 같습니다.
So what determines success and failure, for career success and failure of actors and actresses, there are so many people and never given an opportunity to make a performance on the stage. So I think Oh Tae-kyung as himself play a role of YouTuber in this film, and picket man also play a role of picket man. So they're doing their own acting. By doing so, they have made their own career.
Thank you. Let me start taking some questions from the audience. Starting with the title, does the message and the title of the film, I haven't done anything, does it have any special meaning?
약간은 반어적인 의미이기도 한데 그 영화 속의 메시지는 사실 그 이 배우를 하는 피켓맨이 아무것도 하지 않았는데 이제 유명해진 아이러니에 대한 얘기를 하고 싶었거든요. 그는 아무것도 하지 않고 피켓만 들고 있었는데 결국 주변에서 이슈를 만들고 해서 그가 유명해졌다라는 아이러니를 좀 표현하고 싶었습니다.
So the title itself is very ironic. The guy, actually the picket man, hasn't done anything. They haven't done anything, but still he become famous because people around him create an issue for him. So I wanted to make the title very ironic expression.
Yeah, there's a question to follow up on this. There's a question here to follow up on this. Was it difficult to cast Picket Man considering he does nothing in the bulk of the film?
굉장히 어려웠습니다.
It was very difficult
아무것도 안 해야 돼서 굉장히 어려워서
because he had to doing nothing.
신인 배우들을 한 500명 정도 봤던 것 같아요.
We auditioned 500 newbie actors.
근데 연기를 보는 게 아니라 이미지를 봐야 돼서 더 힘들었던 것 같아요.
It was difficult to cast an actor because I could not see his acting, but his image, what kind of image he present on the screen.
But what was the criteria to see the guy?
불쌍해 보여야 된다.
You know, it's a bit like this movie with Ansanghi where he's sleeping the whole time, isn't it? Are you familiar with this movie? There's a film with Ansanghi where, he's sleeping the whole film. Are you familiar with that movie? Indeed.
Yes, yes.
Similarity. Here's a statement and a question here. I thought this was a great demonstration of the manipulation of cancel culture. Is it? Do you think that public opinion is too vulnerable or easily manipulated by cancel culture?
제가 쉽게 조정할 수 있다고 생각하진 않는데 그러니까 어쨌든 이거는 지금 제가 할 수 있는 질문인 것 같아요. 이렇게 해서 뭐 대중들이 쉽게 변하고 쉽게 조정할 수 있다라는 걸 주려는 메시지라기보다는 그 진정성에 대한 질문인 것 같아요. 사실 이렇게 될 수도 있지 않을까요? 라는 질문인 것 같아요.
So I'm not saying it's easy to manipulate the public opinion. This movie is not about delivering message. It's public opinion may be easy to be manipulated, but it's about sincerity and honesty.
Interesting. I think I have time for maybe one more question. I don't see. Yes, I believe I have time for one more question. How did the famous YouTubers in the movie, are they famous actually? That's my question. How did the famous YouTubers in the movie feel about appearing in a film that is essentially a satire of YouTubers?
다행히도 아직 못 봤습니다.
All this YouTuber make appearance in this movie. Haven't seen this movie yet.
일단은 유튜버 분들이 이 영화에 나오는 분들 외에도 굉장히 많은 분들을 미팅했었는데 그 부정적인 분들도 많았고 재밌겠다라는 분들도 있어서 굉장히 다양한 의견이었는데 그 재밌겠다라고 동참해주신 분들만 같이 참여를 했던 것 같아요.
I interviewed so many YouTubers to pick who can make documentaries in this movie. Have met so many YouTubers, and some of them very positive, some of them negative. That's why those who are positive make it to my movie.
Thank you. I want to ask you about the plans of release for this film. This is the first time we're showing this movie ever in this completed form. Do you have any idea about a theatrical release domestically? I mean, in Korea?
지금 하반기에 이제 국내 개봉을 예정하고 있고요. 네, 그리고 지금 오늘이 제가 알기로는 처음 관객과 만나는 자리여갖고 너무 감사드리고 네, 너무 뜻깊다고 말씀드리고 싶습니다.
So this movie gonna make a official release at the end in the later half of this year, and this is the very first time I see this movie with the audience. So thank you so much for having this time with me.
Thank you.